on three. 1, 2, 3.
Win!
The alley-oop!
Welcome back to the Saints Digital Network. Alongside Associate Head Coach Tyler Velasquez, this is the Coaches Show, an in-depth analysis of men's basketball for St. Martin's University. Well, Coach, one-game week and a huge win against Western Oregon, and there were a few fundamentals that were showcased throughout the course of the game, one of which was rebounding, another assist, and your impression over the past victory over Western Oregon this past weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that was a week that honestly was less about the opponent and more just about us finding a way to bounce back after 2 losses. We spent a bunch of time watching film of those losses and then going back and watching film from other games throughout this year where we were playing well, and just finding the things that we were not connecting on. So it was just a sort of a soul-searching week where we could focus on us. So going into Saturday against Western Oregon, we just wanted to get back to being us. And I felt like for 75% of that game, we found it.
Well, it was that 25%. You guys have a habit for home games of falling behind by 15 and coming back and winning. Certainly not within what you have planned for any games, let alone being down 15 points to begin with. But what did you like the most about your team's response after falling down 28-13?
Yeah, basketball's a messy game. There's only so much that you can control. Western Oregon came out and was on fire. Some of those were quality shots that those guys were making, but some of them were, highly contested jump shots that just so happened to go down, and that happens in basketball. I was impressed because the group that really got us on track was our guys off the bench. They came in and gave us a boost of urgency and intensity, and with 11 minutes to go in that first half, they were at 28 points or something like that. So to give up 28 points in the first 8 minutes is not a good start to the game, that's for sure. But our second group really stepped up when they came in.
Although it didn't show on the stat sheet, how big was Omar Ege-Pixari?
Yeah, I mean he's an impact guy off the bench. He can do multiple things. He's a really, really high level passer and playmaker. But it's when he gets involved on the glass, it's when he, steps up defensively and brings energy in those areas, then it just stands out that, he's a really good player. So it was real important for him and a couple other guys as well to step in and do things outside of their main talent. He did a wonderful job.
And coming off the bench, we talked about the depth. Jacob Harper had himself quite the game for you guys. And what did you like the most out of how he performed on Saturday?
I think he was the spark plug. I think he was the guy who came in and, jump-started us. And I think it started defensively. He was getting up and trying to pressure the ball, and that's the type of stuff that generates energy when you're not scoring so great to start the game. So that to me is what jump-started our whole game, offensively, defensively, sort of everything. So that was a really, really cool thing for him to be able to go in and basically turn the tide of a big, important league game.
A big, important league game, and as you're working your way through your first season calling a lot of the shots, how have you grown into that position? How's the last few years helped you prepare for this season?
Yeah, I mean, talked about it, I think, on our very first podcast was Coach Lanning just gives me such a big leash that he's allowed me to showcase stuff that I'm real confident in and grow in areas that, I need to get better at. And just that leash has allowed me to, sort of be put in a spotlight in all these different areas. So it's really allowed me this year specifically to hit the ground running. So a lot of this is just a byproduct of what type of coach he is and how he puts the people in his program, not only players, great head coaches put their assistants in positions to be successful, not only where they're at currently, but down the road and in their future too. And it just shows that he's always on top of that. All assets of the program. Aaron Landon has been, an unbelievable coach. So that's huge props to him, and that's a lot of the success is definitely on his back. That's for sure.
A lot of credit to the man whose name is written on our show, the Aaron Landon Show. But you talk about some of the great players that Aaron's brought in. One of those key players, Diego Trejo-Delgado, he has helped out time and time again when you guys needed the most. What do you like the most about the impact that he makes?
Yeah, Diego, one, he's a great kid. He's super coachable. And the most important thing is he plays really, really hard. When he's on the floor, he competes. He wants to rebound. He wants to be physical. All of those things are just the start of a really special player. Last year he was injured and had to sit out, and this year he's able to showcase a little bit of his talents. And there's been some really high moments for him, and there's been some rough patches too, and that's all to be expected for a young player. But the main thing we're continuing to preach to him is just to continue to play with a high motor. If he does that, then we can be a really, really special team. I think as this year has gone on and we've dealt with an insane amount of injuries throughout this year, I think he's sort of become in a lot of ways the motor of our team. So when his motor's running hot, then you can bet we're going to be playing pretty well.
And they have played very well at times, and that could not be more understated against Northwest Nazarene, the 15-point comeback. And he has done that many, many occasions, and he is one of the finer additions to the St. Martin's program compared to last year's team. But speaking of which, we talked to Diego Trejo-Delgado earlier this week. Alongside Diego Trejo-Delgado, Diego, thanks for jumping in.
Thank you.
Question for you. How did you fall in love with the game of basketball?
I think it's been a long story. Basketball has been in my life since I was like a child. My mom and my dad, they both played basketball. I've been living in Mexico my whole life, and they've been playing pro. My mom played in college over there in Mexico, and my dad, he played pro for like, I think, 10 years. And then they become coaches, little kids, and they've been teaching me basketball. And yeah, I feel like it's been on my life since I was a child. So I just been playing, and they've been teaching me all that I know.
Who, besides your mom and your dad, who are the most important coaches in your journey?
Oh,
when you were in Mexico.
Yeah, I say my dad. He was my dad probably for my whole life. He was my coach when I was 15, and I was playing like big tournaments over there in Mexico. And yeah, he was being my coach my whole life, and I got another ones over there who been helping me in all this. And I say it's probably him, my dad.
Yeah, your dad being such an intricate role in your basketball development.
Yeah.
But what was the journey through high school like?
Oh, okay. So when I was playing high school, one of my coaches from one academy over there, his name is Paco Rodriguez. He called me about a tryout in Chihuahua, and there's a tryout who was scouts from California, and looking for like good players. And I remember that day, it was on Sunday, and that camp it was more than 100 players who come to those tryouts, and he saw me and he called me and he asked for my information and all that. And in that time I didn't have a visa, so he fixed everything and he paid for everything, and he put me in high school, and I played my senior year in high school in California.
Wow, so you make the jump from living in Mexico all your life, and then you move everything you know all the way to California to play. What was that adjustment like for you?
Yeah, no, that was a big I literally my whole life changed in that moment. I remember those days. I was super nervous for literally everything. I was gonna start a new life. I was 18, and I was 17 actually, and I was 17. I was gonna go just by myself. It was gonna be the first time that living without my parents, and I was super nervous because at that time my English was like zero. Like I didn't take English at all in my whole life. So when I get there, one of my teammates was Mexican too, and he was my translator for everything. He went to school with me. Uh, in the games, he was also the person who told me what the coach was saying. So yeah, I gotta be super thankful with him because he literally was telling me everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember those days, and I was taking a class, English class, every day, 8 to 10 a.m. And yeah, and also about basketball, it was a super different level of basketball because in Mexico, I'm tall, and I was the tallest one in all the teams that I've been.
Yeah.
And when I get there, I was like regular, you know.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a big change for me, a big change for my life, living without my parents and learning a new language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What was that senior year in California as far as playing wise? What was that like?
Yeah, that was a pretty good year for me. I was playing confident and I was feeling good because my dream for my whole life, it was playing in United States here. I know here's the best basketball level that I can find, and I was super excited. I was just being myself, and I did have a really good season with my team, Balboa Prep School, and we made the playoffs that year, and we lose against Prolific Prep, but that was a good year. I was scoring 12.4 points per game, I think, and 8 rebounds per game. So that was a pretty good year. And after when my season ended, a team from EYBL called me, Oakland Soldiers, and I played like 5 different tournaments there with them. And yeah, that was my high school senior year, like
Wow.
learning English and adapting to the game.
Wow. You have life hitting you at a freight train almost.
Yeah.
Well, from California all the way to Lacey here with St. Martin's. How did that all come about?
Yeah. So my coach from high school, Dominic Jones, he was sending information from other players to St. Martin's. He was talking with Coach Tyler and Coach London, I think, and he sent my information here. And talking with him, we were talking. We were saying like he was one of the best option that I was gonna get. And then Coach Landon called me in summer 2023, offered me, and I was super excited. I was super nervous too, but yeah, I was super happy when they called me, and they offered me the scholarship and playing for them. It was like a dream. Just playing 1 year in high school, being a kid just without speaking English, and now I got a scholarship here. I can play the sport that I love, and yeah, that's been like a super fast January for me. It's been like super fast everything here, but I'm still learning a lot of stuff, and I'll I'll keep trying to keep learning stuff. So
And he keeps learning. And there's a lot of learning that happened through your first year. You play 2 games, and then you get hurt. What did you learn during that time of not playing?
um, well, a lot of stuff. I see how was the level first of all, and I see how was the speed of the game, how we move, our defense adjustments, how we run our lines, and a lot of stuff like that. And yeah, just literally being watching the games, being on the bench with the team, traveling with the team. It was super helpful for me because now this year is not like the first time that I'm doing this. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like I learned a lot of stuff just watching the games.
Wow, you learned a lot. And now this year, you're playing, but also intricate leader of this team. What do you like about this team so far up to this point?
Um, I mean, this team this year is super. Like I feel like everybody we got super good friendship, and we got super good chemistry, and everybody is playing for win. Uh, Everybody know what to do. Everybody has a role as a player, and nobody is taking like trying to do something extra to make people look at him or make people look at me. You know, yeah, everybody here. I really like that. Everybody here is just playing to win the games. Yeah,
A true team effort to get there.
true team effort. Yeah.
Well, what is it going to take down the stretch of the season to be successful going forward?
Um, just keep playing hard, keep doing whatever we do. Play defense super hard, and yeah, stay ready for whatever it's gonna take us to do, and yeah.
Yeah, a lot of prep heading towards the finish line, which who knows what the ceiling is. Let's head back to associate head coach Tyler Velasquez. Wow, Diego, great player, great story, and it's been a redemption year for him after injury last season. So great to see Diego on those heights, and we look forward to seeing him more, especially this weekend against Simon Fraser and Western Washington. And last time out on the road against those two teams, well, a horrifying weekend, 2 buzzer beater losses. Coach, how will these 2 games be different?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the outcome, I don't know what's going to happen. We just got to prepare the best we can. Those were 2 super close games on the road, like you said, both buzzer beaters, devastating losses. So I think we learned a bunch from those games, and I think we'll be able to prepare in a way that hopefully can change the outcome a little bit. But those are both good programs. When you look at Simon Fraser, since beating us, they got one of their big guys back, Zach Stone, and they've been in close game after close game after close game with everyone in the league. So that's that just sort of shows you where they're at. Sometimes the losses can add up, and it doesn't really show you how good a team is. And I think they're a team that's better than their win-loss record. So they're dangerous. And then, Western Washington just lost on a crazy buzzer beater to SPU. But before that, they had a sort of similar thing. Start out GNAC play 0-5 and then rip off 7 in a row. So it's, there's crazy stuff that happens, and both of those teams are playing good basketball, and they'll be looking to come into Marcus and make a statement that those first games weren't flukes. So.
What stands out about the job that Tony Dominguez has done with Western Washington?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not around their program a whole lot. I just know that when you start out 0-5, that's hard territory to be in. I mean, you gotta have a group of guys that are connected and able to, battle through adversity, and that's what they've done. So he's obviously put their guys in the right position. They play really hard. They compete. So he's done a great job getting them back on the right track, and they're definitely a super talented team, that's for sure.
A lot of talent, and they can play exceptionally well, but big week ahead. What are you looking for out of your group in these 2 games?
Just finding our brand of basketball. That's all we talked about last week. Playing fast, trying to get out in transition on offense, trying to be physical in the paint, and then continuing to be one of the better defensive teams in the league. Though if we can do those 3 things, then I think we should put ourselves in a position to be successful the majority of the time. So as long as we can continue to do that, then I think we'll be all right.
And that will be the story of how things will go, of the way for success coming up this weekend. Thursday at 7 o'clock against Simon Fraser, and then 5:15 against Western Washington. Both broadcasts can be found right here on the Saints Digital Network. But that's all the time that we have for the Aaron Landon Show. For Associate Head Coach Tyler Velasquez, I'm Danny DeBock saying so long and take care. And thanks for letting us be a part of your morning. And as always, it's a great day to be a Saint.